San Francisco. Hello everybody, it's Tom here from the Company Code, author, educator and public speaker. Today I'm going to speak about my experience of San Francisco in the US. What a great place. I had the pleasure of visiting San Francisco on a free centre holiday back in 2010 with my mum and dad. Brother and sister didn't come. I still don't to this day know why. They missed out really, but it is what it is. Anyway, I'd like to go on about how I found the place. I'll be brutally honest, and I promise from this day forward, anything I say in my videos is truth, okay? Well, my truth, maybe not yours, but even so, just so that you've got a good idea of what you're letting yourself in for whenever you go somewhere. I may even bring up some negative points. They'll be mainly positive though, because I like to put a positive spin on things. So, what did I make of San Francisco? Well, San Francisco, we've all seen it in films, is a very beautiful place. It's a very large place. It has a very diverse mixture of people from all over the world that live there, you know. Some very famous people that have got houses over that way, I should know, on one of the tours, on the tour bus that we went past George Lucas's studio, and I think his house as well, which isn't too far away from the Golden Gate Bridge. It's famous for many things, you know, mainly seafood, as there's a large sea area there. I mean, I'm not a seafood fan myself, but by all accounts, the clam chowder is something to behold. And definitely, if you've never tried it before, I would say give sourdough a try. It's an acquired taste. I wouldn't say it's something I'd eat again and again and again, but certainly worth the attempt, shall we say. And it is a delicacy in that part of the world. So we flew out as part of a free centre holiday. This was the first part of the free centre as well, so got off the plane, landed, familiarised ourselves as we usually do, got over to the hotel. First thing that struck me about San Francisco is, despite the fact it's a large bay area, it's quite hilly. And you can see from the 1994 or 93 actually film, Mrs. Doubtfire, that in parts of it, it's like that. Be under no illusions, it's really quite steep. Obviously the tram system that they run there is years old. I'm talking like from the 1800s or something, and they still use the original mechanisms and brake systems in there. So that in itself is something quite chic and quaint, shall we say, that a lot of people would be like, really? Could probably do with modernising. But it has its own appeal, I suppose, being that authentic and true to its original self. So yeah, you go around, it's very steep in parts, as I said. You're walking down the street, and I don't mean to put any of you off, but obviously it's a heavy earthquake area due to the San Andreas fault. Well, the last really big earthquake they had was one back in 1989, and that one was pretty horrific in terms of just how strong it was. If you walk down the street, you can see where the road split in half. It's like something out of a film. But then again, this sort of place has that sort of feel about it everywhere you go, because San Francisco has been in so many films, as has the state of California. You see it in so many, you know. Mainly disaster films because of the earthquake thing and that, but even so. So, walking down the street, you see that. Even in your hotel, there's instructions of what to do if there's an earthquake. For those of you who don't know what to do, supposedly get in the bath, or stand under a doorway because it's meant to be secure. Basically under a table as well, so nothing hits you on the head. They recommend that you don't go outside. There's so many different things that you have to do anyway, but luckily didn't have to go through one. I've been on a couple of earthquake simulators and that's bad enough, but the real thing would just be horrific. So yeah, as a place, be under no illusions. You probably think California equals sun, Yes, it does. But this is Northern California. This is not Southern. The weather in San Francisco is quite similar to where I come from in England, or it was when I visited. It was August, September time. Don't get me wrong, we had sunshine, but we also had rain. We also had a very strong breeze coming off the sea, off the ocean, and it gets cold. Don't be going with the attitude it's always going to be warm, because if you do, you'll be disappointed. And I owe it to you as my subscriber or my viewer to be honest with you about that. That was August. That's probably one of the warmer parts of the year, but it does get cold. You know, driving over the bridge to go and see the Golden Gate Bridge up from the other side, you go over it and there's mist on the bridge and it's cold. It's coming from off the sea. You've got the Pacific Ocean and the Atlantic Ocean like clashing at the bottom, and you get this real mixture of things coming off the sea. But as a place, quite friendly, quite warming. It has that interesting surf vibe going, you know, like what you've probably seen in, like, I don't know, any sort of films that involve like swimming and the beach. And some very nice beaches as well, very famous beach that we visited. And there's scenes that you would have seen out of the film, you know, Forrest Gump. And I love Forrest Gump. Alright, it's surreal, like the film, but then you're walking down this pier. And in the film, if you remember, Forrest does a run from, he goes basically on a long run for years and runs all over America. And Route 66, it goes from east to west. The furthest point that it goes is near enough San Francisco, and you see Forrest run up to the end of this pier and turn back and run the other way. The reason for that is because the end of the pier is running into the ocean, and I've been on that pier and I recognised it straight away. I thought, I'm sure I've seen this in a film sometime, and sure enough, it was Forrest Gump. Yeah. One more thing I will say, if you are going to San Francisco, is as well as Forrest Gump, as well as seeing many scenes from films, and you will recognise them. I'm pretty damn sure I've been on the estate where Mrs. Doubtfire was filmed. In fact, I'm willing to bet money on it. I recognise the houses, and it's a very nice area, I may add. It was nice in '94 when they filmed it, but yeah. Anyway, as well as that, I would seriously recommend a day trip over to Alcatraz, to the prison out in the bay there. That is very interesting. Even if you're not really so bothered about that sort of thing, even if you're not someone who's classed yourself as a super sleuth or someone that likes crime related things, just go with an open mind, go with this curiosity and the interest, and go and see what the living quarters was like for those soldiers. Go and see how no one could ever survive escaping it because of the water, should I say. You know, it's near enough impossible to swim in that sea, by all accounts. And many have tried and failed. And, you know, many a famous criminal was in Alcatraz. And it's interesting history-wise. Go, it's a nice day trip, it's a nice day out. You get to be shown around pretty much all of it. There's certain areas they won't let you in, but it's very good. And just outside of San Francisco, a little bonus tip for you, well, bonus sort of coverage, should I say. It's a nice little bay resort, Sausalito. And Robin Williams used to live there, the actor, who's sadly no longer with us. And a couple of members of Metallica bought houses down that way. Very peaceful. Kind of not off the grid, but nearly. Nice little town, like right down by the sea, by the lower part of the Golden Gate Bridge. And yeah, there's a really nice chilled vibe in San Francisco. My mum and dad loved it. suppose being a bit older, they enjoyed the relaxation part of it. Myself, it did remind me a little bit of like certain resorts within the UK, only on a bigger scale, because obviously there's a bigger community there that has got like a bigger ocean and sea to swim in. And yeah, you do get a nice mixture there. Definitely worth a visit. I can't tell you how much I enjoy going. I'd happily go again at some point. And I think that you should give it a try as well. It's very chilled, very relaxed. It's interesting. And as I said, just beware that for all it is a warm part of the world, it's not Los Angeles. It's not San Diego. Don't confuse that because it's in California, it's going to be scorching all the time. Because, as I said, the weather was quite mixed, to be honest. And I feel I owe it to you to tell you that, because I think it's the only right and reasonable thing to do, really. Okay. That's my second video of the week. I want to say thank you all ever so much for watching. Really appreciate your time and energy spent on my channel. Thank you kindly. This is my second of 3 videos this week. Put down in the comment section below. You ever been to San Francisco? Is it on your bucket list? Are you someone that enjoys surfing and swimming? If that is the case, you need to get yourself out there. I'm sure you'd really enjoy it. Remember to hit that subscribe button down below and leave me a thumbs up and a like, and let's hear that bell sign go ding dong so you know when my next content's out. Until then, everyone, I want to say thank you all ever so much for watching as always. Really appreciate your time and energy spent. I'll be back on my third and final video of the week in just a few short days. Until then, look after yourselves, take care, and bye for now.